Good morning, mamas. We are back again for Women to Woman to Woman today. I love when we have three people, we have a chat. What I love about these Women to Woman to Women's is that you get to meet someone super exciting, someone that we're going to introduce you to, Miss Robin Finn, who is our speaker, our guest speaker, our expert for Soulful Sunday in October. So, as we know, October, we are talking about this is not your story anymore. And what better topic and expert to have for a Soulful Sunday than Robin Finn? Robin Finn is an author. She has started Heart Soul Pen. She also, Artifacts is a program that she has that if you are one of these people that has a story that you want to get out, this is where you want to go and talk to Robin about it. But I'm going to let her talk all about it. So, welcome, Robin. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. But we just want to chat here a little bit about you, and we're excited about Soulful Sunday. And again, I'll put the date October. Where's my date here? October 26th,
26.
last Sunday of the month from 2 to 5. So, Robin, welcome. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Well, thank you for having me, Meredith and Ozzy. I'm already having fun. Love hanging out with you, and I'm really looking forward to Soulful Sunday.
Yeah,
Yay. We're actually really looking forward to having you as well. We've hyped you up already. I think we already have people signed up. We told everyone that there are limited spaces and we just want to make sure we have a nice intimate group of amazing women. And I think we're almost sold out, right, Meredith?
we're about halfway. Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Amazing.
And this idea of like, this is not your story anymore. A couple of things I want to say to anyone who's thinking about joining us is that sometimes people get scared when they hear writing. And I talk a lot in my book and in my work. Heart Soul Pen is a women's writing program. And I talk a lot about women getting this message somewhere in their life that they're not a good writer. They can't write. They can only write for work. Their voice isn't safe. You shouldn't say anything that's not ladylike. So I really just want to dispel all of that and tell everyone you're really welcome to join us. You don't need to be a writer. You don't need to consider yourself a good writer. If you can use a pen, you are welcome because really and truly everyone has a writer's voice. And unfortunately for women, sometimes somewhere along the line, and it's often in childhood, we've disconnected from it. And
Hmm.
so I really want to invite anyone who is what I call writer curious. Like maybe it sounds interesting, but you're scared. I will hold your hand, but I really encourage you to come and write with us. You will leave feeling uplifted.
Mm. I love that. And honestly, Robin, I think I've been telling everybody I have personal experience. Agreed. I did not see myself a writer. I'm one of these people that, I don't know, I had a diary growing up, and every once in a while I'd put an entry in it, and it never was consistent. Same as a journal. I just thought I would write in there, the sky is blue today, and I didn't feel like I had anything to say. And I was introduced to you back in, I think it was March of this year, to have you as one of our experts on Soulful Sunday for Soulful Sunday. And what I really got from speaking to you on the phone is I have something to say. And I was so excited about that opportunity and had that curiosity enough that I joined your class. So you had an 8 week class that I joined in person, and I tell you this all the time, it literally has changed me. I walked in the door knowing that, hey, I may not be a writer, but I didn't need experience. There was no critiquing. It was the way you facilitate a creative writing space is just so welcoming and supportive. And what I got out of it, there's not, it's priceless. There's not a price I can put to it. And I'll tell you this, it has changed my voice and who I think I am moving forward. And the skies have opened. Robin, we were talking before you coming on, and sorry, I just keep chatting, that we have a lot of projects going on. I have so much amazing stuff going on in my life right now because I know who I am. And that comes from writing my own story,
Well,
redefining.
I thank you so much. Really, it really touches my heart. I guess one thing I wanna say is I can promise you, working with Heart, Soul, Pen principles, you will transform. Whether it's 1-hour workshop or an 8-week class, or if you join Heartifacts where we write our story together, I can promise you, anyone who is you, you will have a transformation. You will be a different person leaving than when you were when you came, because that's what happens when people reflect to you, the writer, that your work resonates for them, that there's themes in there that are so meaningful. Women absolutely have something to say, and I would argue in midlife, even more. You have something to say out there, and writing your story, getting your words on paper not only transforms you, but it transforms the rest of us who are really desperate to hear it and to see truth and to see our real lives, not our curated Facebook, Instagram lives, but our truth on the page. It is healing for us and it's healing for everybody else too.
Yeah. It's interesting how hard it is for so many women to speak their truth, as you mentioned, because in the past they might have had a story that told them otherwise, their voice didn't matter, or there was no space for them, or they, whatever it is that we believed about ourselves, that it is hard to, for a lot. And I've not taken any of your classes. I'm super excited to write with you on Sunday because I know that we all have a story in us, and we actually have more than one story in us, but our stories matter, and our stories are not meant to be kept in because I believe that our stories can heal others. And I love that you inspire that in people.
Yeah.
And I just agree with you. And I mean, one thing I would tell my writing students is that yes, I believe our stories can heal others, but our first responsibility is to heal ourselves.
Of course.
Like, in order to bring our own light into the world, we have to first share our own light with ourselves. And this seems so obvious, but it's very hard. I like to talk about how at the end of class, I sometimes have writers write a thank you note to themselves for showing up every week for 2 hours to write. And so many women will write their thank you note to me.
Mm.
It's so funny. It's like we purposefully or not purposefully, we misinterpret the direction to write it to ourselves because it's so much harder to give gratitude to ourselves, to acknowledge our own hard work than it is someone else's. And I think that is really culturally ingrained, Ozzy. And when you said, like, it's interesting how hard it is, I mean, part of what we're working with Heart Soul Pen is letting go of these beliefs that it has to be perfect. It has to be pretty. Sometimes our story is dark and painful, and all of that is okay. But I think as women, we're really taught your story better be appropriate, whatever that means. And I think, what we're going to be doing together, hot writing, is where we turn all of these principles toward midlife and menopause. Menopause is this big secret, even though 51% of the women are going, 51% of the world is women, and 100% of us will go through menopause if we're
Yeah.
fortunate enough to be alive. We will go through menopause. And yet it's some big secret we're not supposed to talk about. And yes, nowadays, I think more has happened to bring menopause into the forefront, but often it's about information. And I want it to be also about self expression and
Yes.
Mhm.
being allowed to express our own crazy, upsetting, funny, maybe at some point beautiful journey through menopause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're all having our own experience with it. So, in all our stories are so very different from one another. So while we're all in the same space and season, we also have our own lens in which we see the world, in which we share how we experience something, and to have that permission, to give ourselves that permission. And also, I love that gratitude piece. I teach gratitude all the time. To me, it's sort of the antidote to fear. It really helps us move through fear a lot smoother or with more ease.
Yeah. I love what you said too, Ozzy, though, that, we all have our own lens and we all have our own story. But in so many ways, we've learned this through community and through the Mamas and Menopause community that we're not alone. So even though maybe your story might have be a little bit different narrative, there's a lot of maybe that foundational piece that really resonates with each other. And we say this too. when you share, and you said this a little bit earlier, when you share what's going on with you, and whether it's good, bad, ugly, and we're trying to really change this narrative of menopause that it's not doom and gloom. It is, like you're saying, there's statistics. 51% of Americans are, or the world, I guess. Did you say Americans or world?
The
Are
word
women. The world are women. And 100% of us that are living through it are living through it. And let's, I keep saying this, let's put an exclamation point behind it because it's with these shared stories that we can get through it a little bit easier. It's through the shared resources and community that we put our own story, we have our own spin. But if we can put our own story with gratitude and excitement, I think we're just going to get through it just in such a different way than maybe some of these people were feeling they were clunky, almost like stumbling over themselves. Change the narrative so it's an easier way to get through, getting through it together.
I love that, and getting back to, like, this is not my story anymore. You
Mm,
know, it's really powerful to be able to write your own story, to put
yeah.
on page what you're going through. A lot of women, we have so many roles that we fill in our lives, we don't even know how we feel. That's the
Right.
Yeah.
it's like, I'm so busy taking care of my parents, my husband, my kids, my partner, my job. You know, I'm a boss, I'm a worker, I mean, the roles for women, sister, mother, friend, go on and on. And so
Mm,
a lot of women, you know, you can get so busy in your life, you don't even know how you feel. And
so
because
true.
I work so much with midlife women and women who are perimenopause, menopause, or postmenopause, um, I'm really well aware of how many women will say, like, I don't know how I feel. Maybe I do have a story, but I have no idea what it is. It's been so long since I felt close to my own voice. No idea what it is. And so that's where I want to say writing, particularly with Heart Soul Pen, we do short burst writing. We give feedback only on what we notice. There's never any critique. So, this kind of writing gives you the time to slow down and become connected to how you feel, to
Yep.
Mm,
start to understand how you feel. And to your point, Meredith, I like to say, and it's the subtitle of my book, Find Your Voice on the Page and in Your Life. Once you find your voice, it changes everything.
yeah.
I don't know if you guys agree, your experience with the menopause mamas, but I find that a lot of women in midlife really don't know how they feel about things because it's been so long since they really took the time to check in.
Yeah. Because everyone else came before them. So there's no space for the feeling. So now you get to our age and you don't I don't know how to identify that feeling. I don't am I allowed to even feel? I think that it does writing. I would imagine, and I do this with my clients with even journaling. And I said it in the last video that we made is intimate, and intimacy is a way to your truth.
Yeah. And we talk about this too, Ozzy and I, that investing in yourself, when you take time to invest in yourself, you become this better human. And then you can be better for all the other people that you're juggling and people, things you said, careers, everything around you. You just become more whole, more fulfilled. You have more to give when you give to yourself first. And, go back to that point where you said that letter that people would often write, thank you to you as opposed to thank you to themselves. It's almost like, sorry, slap on the hand. You need to go do this again. You need to write another letter. If
That's
you
what
say
I
thank
ask them too. I say, thank you so much. You're welcome. But I wasn't asking you to thank me. I was asking you to thank you. Because think of all the effort it took you on your part to show up. But I think more comfortable thanking everybody else. For a lot of women, it's not comfortable to thank ourselves, to give gratitude to ourselves. And I think to your point, Meredith, it's linked to not being willing to invest in ourselves with our time, with our money, with our attention. It's linked because it's like somehow we are so used to being sort of the organizer of everybody else's nurturing and not really nurturing ourselves. And then midlife comes. For a lot of people, the kids are flying the nest. Maybe life has gotten a little bit less crazy and you have more time. And you suddenly are left with this time vacuum of I have a lot of time and I have no idea really what to do with it. And I feel lost. And I feel that when you have a feeling that I've lost my voice, we should have red alarms going off, like it's not a small thing. If you don't have your voice, you are not really happy or content or enjoying all the things in life because you don't have your own voice. So when you realize I don't feel like I have my voice, I feel like I've lost my voice. This is like a three-alarm fire. It's like you need to stop what you're doing and figure out what modality will help you find your voice. It's important. You are worthy of your own time to connect with yourself. And I think that these sounds really simple, but it isn't because we're conditioned not to for years, for some
Yeah.
women, decades.
Yep.
So powerful. I mean, just saying
Takes
that
practice.
gives me chills, right?
Yeah, and I think beyond that also is the practice of it. I mean, one thing to invest, but I think the other and to face yourself. But then the next step is, well, I have to consistently continue this so that I could uncondition what I've been conditioned to do and to be.
That's so wise. And you mentioned journaling, Ozzy, and I think journaling is a wonderful practice, and people often will poo poo their journaling as not really writing. But I just want to tell you that if you're writing, you're a writer, and journaling absolutely counts. So if you're journaling, it's a wonderful practice. Writing in community is a little bit different because we share what we're writing and we have the opportunity immediately to get feedback. The feedback isn't about whether we think your piece is good or not. The feedback is about how your piece strikes us and how we relate to it. And so we kind of go up a level in courage and being willing to share it with a group of other women and allowing them to tell you how deeply it resonates for that, what you're sharing. And so
Beautiful.
that
Yeah.
both scary and also exhilarating. I mean, Meredith, you were in the class. What do you have to
Yeah.
say?
Yeah, I was just going to comment on that, that I feel like I have an experience as a writer sharing and that feeling of, and I'll be honest, there was one piece, and you know this piece where I was writing, 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 writing. I was totally fine. I was writing. All of a sudden, when I went to read it, I broke down and it was very emotional for me because things came out that I didn't even realize were holding me back. So that's one part of it that I felt was kind of therapeutic and a way for me to learn about myself, which was what I needed. I didn't know I needed it, but I really did need it. But I think conversely, when I'm listening to other women speak their story, there are some stories that I would just get chills. There were some stories that I felt moved. There were some stories that you're just in awe of some of these journeys that people have been on. So it's really fun. It's a really fun experience. It's a learning experience. And I think it's learning and healing without throwing it in your face. It's just such a fun, creative way. And you make it so easy to feel comfortable doing. It's creative writing. You have prompts. It's not like we have to come prepared. We don't have to structure anything with our body. And I joke around. I don't even really know what a noun and a verb and all those are, but I can still write. I mean, I hope I do. I just,
You do. You do. And I mean, I'm not joking when I say all you need is an open heart and a pen. That's it.
yeah,
If you
Yeah.
go on that way,
agree.
you can do it and you will experience a transformation. And it is also so much fun. I think
Yeah.
people don't realize how creative they are. But
Hmm.
oftentimes people will say, I'm not a creative. And I think to myself, mm-hmm.
Well, we're designed to be creators as women. So
Yeah.
naturally we are already creators, but I think people have this assumption of what creation or a creator is, and I think you have to be artistic or yeah, it's like, no, you're a creator, whether
And
you
I
want to
have to
admit it
tell
or
you
not.
this, Robin, not to toot my own horn, but from the stories we wrote, from the writing that I've done as a habit since your class, because I kept it a habit, I had some bones, and I was asked to contribute a chapter in a book that will be coming out. I had everything there, and I the due date to turn it in is not till November. I wrote this within probably 2 weeks of being asked to contribute because I had everything there, and all I had to do is compile it and put it together. Even though everything felt kinda messy on within all my journals and my books and everything that I've written in, I had to just go back to what already was coming out of me. I already had the story written. It was
Well,
Mm.
amazing.
I love that, and congratulations on contributing a chapter. I love this for you, Meredith. And, I would say, again, you could come to one writing workshop and you will absolutely have a little transformation. But if your desire is to generate more material and you do a longer workshop, what happens is you start to see over the weeks of writing that you have themes. Maybe you don't know what your again, if you feel like you've lost your voice, you might feel like I don't have a story to tell, or if I do, I don't know what it is. But just sitting down together with these prompts and sharing over weeks, you start to see there's a story that is emerging. So oftentimes we don't know what it is in our head. And I joke that that's why my program's called Heart, Soul, Pen, no mention of head, because we're not making it up in our head and writing it down. We're actually learning how to get out of our own way and let the story emerge from our heart and soul. And the story is actually already there. We just often don't know what it is. So with some easy tools, when we start to
Right.
let it surge in little spurts, we start to understand what we're writing about.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm so excited for Soulful
Yes.
Sunday. We're going to leave it there because we want to make sure that people will come in and actually experience you in real time in real life if they can. If they can't, obviously they could sign up to some of your other courses. Super excited for that. So remember October 20
6. Yeah.
date. So make sure that you sign up and register so that you will be part of our group for that Sunday. And Robin, thank you so much for your time and your information. And I hopefully we left people wanting more. I know I am.
Well, thank you, Ozzy Meredith, for having me. I really hope everyone will come and write with us. It's going to be fun and creative.
Yes.
So
Yes. Thank
excited.
you.
Thank you, Robin. We adore you. We can't wait to experience it all together for our mamas community. And thank you, mamas, for hanging out with us for a little bit. I know this your time is valuable, and we really appreciate you letting us share some amazing people with you. And come to Soulful Sunday, last Sunday of the month, Sunday, October 26th, 2 to 5. Lots of fun. We'll see you in person. Bye,
Bye
everybody.
everyone. Thank you. Thank you.